Okay, hello, and welcome back to this episode of Best of the Biz, the pod talking business with CNA entrepreneurs. This week we have Kayla Stride, owner of Red Fire Ceramics. So, welcome, Kayla. Thanks for coming on.
Hi.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You've had a really dynamic journey, from visual arts at CNA to your work in ceramics, music, and education. So, can you tell us a little bit about how it all started and where you're to now?
It's it's a unique journey because I actually started applying for flight school.
Oh, really?
I always wanted to be a pilot. When I was a kid, I can remember seeing the float planes flying in front of my house, and I thought that would be the best future for me, counting caribou and flying airplanes all day. And so when I moved to Stephenville for the first time, I was actually on a wait list at Moncton Flight Training. And I think it was 18 or 19 at the time. And I said, I don't want to just wait around. So I said, I'm just going to do the visual arts program until I get in. And when I did a pottery course with Gwen Lawson, I said, the hell with flight school. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I dropped out.
Very cool.
That was an interesting conversation because my mom was like, what the hell are you doing? Right. I'm like, well, the clay chose me and this is what I'm supposed to do. So I feel very lucky to have that experience because I just felt like this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's like I said, it's rewarding, and every day is a great day when you're doing something you love.
Yeah, it's one of those times where I actually followed my gut instinct.
Yeah, right on. Right on. So speaking a bit about your work, it mixes traditional Mi'kmaq designs with more modern styles. How do you kind of find the right balance between the two, and what kind of stories are you trying to share through that mix?
That's an interesting one. A lot of times where I've been doing it so long, I don't know if I should say this, but I just gotta go for it. I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
It was more conceptual and about the meaning behind it when I first began, especially in school, because you're taught that your art should mean something. And especially as an indigenous woman, that, it's important to have a message. I'm more of a person that's like, why can't art be just beautiful? Art for art's sake kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make beautiful things inspired by indigenous motifs. Just to put these styles out there, make them more mainstream and accessible, and make them more contemporary. So a lot of people, when they knew I was involved in Indigenous art, or I was Indigenous because I make art, therefore my art isn't Indigenous. That's the kind of pressure that's put on people who are of minority. But I always thought, if an Indigenous person was born 100 years ago, they would use the materials that was available to them.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as a person who was born in the 80s and in college and university about 10, 15 years ago, why wouldn't I use what was available to me? So, like, I have access to porcelain, which is absolutely beautiful. It's bright, and the colors just glow in it. And sgraffito is an Italian technique of carving back into the clay. And I take the inspiration from Mi'kmaq patterns of ribbon dress designs, or like porcupine quill work, and combine them all because I'm a modern person living in modern times that's from a this background. So that's basically why or how and where my inspiration comes from, because I like bright, colorful, pretty things. And I know a lot of other people do too. So that's where it comes from. Some of my products that I am enjoying making are plates.
Okay.
Like dinner plates, dinnerware. And I like that because it's a surface that, allows you to work on. And I'm starting with silkscreen prints. So combining the carving with the silkscreen prints. And lusters, just anything. Like, I always tell people, like, I'm like an old crow. Like, I see something sparkle and I'm drawn towards it.
Cool. So you talked a little bit about your time at CNA. You said you traveled to Stephenville, attended the Bay St. George campus. What program did you study, and how did that kind of really influence your business?
That was a great time. That's when Kona or CNA out in Stephenville had so many arts programs. There was visual arts, recording arts, music industry performance, journalism, and animation. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of cool courses out there, which meant I felt at the time brought a lot of cool people to the community.
Yeah.
And it was really good because there were so many different types of artists around that people really could feed off each other. It was a great community at the time. And I don't know, I was just really immersed in that. It was like the foundation year, really, because I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do until I did pottery. And then I kind of used other courses that I did incorporated in my pottery because I did printmaking. And that was at the LA Bone campus. And I loved it there. But printmaking, the process was so tedious that I was thinking, well, this can be incorporated into clay. And I did painting with Lauren Bishop. And it's another thing. It's like the amount of prep work and everything. And that pottery isn't. It's just, doing multiple different disciplines. It's like focusing on one was a better avenue to take because I could incorporate painting into pottery. I could incorporate printmaking into pottery. So that's when I started experimenting in clay using other techniques that I learned from the school. So I think that's when, after I graduated and went to NASCAD, that's what my focus was, pure into ceramics. But then I started thinking of applying images to it that you would probably use in printmaking. And that's how my practice evolved, was by having that foundation year of like incorporating things together.
Yeah. Kind of bringing everything together, it seems like. So what are some of the kind of unique challenges and rewards of being an independent artist in your field?
Unique rewards and challenges. Oh, well, the rewards is meeting people. Because I'm a performer and I'm a teacher, I have many different aspects of my life. But when I do art, it's like, this is me, And say, for instance, I went to NCECA, which is a national ceramic convention in the United States. I went to one in Kansas City and one in Milwaukee. And there were thousands, like the rock stars of the ceramic world. Like nobody cares. Nobody even knows. But like everybody's geeking out because it's like, oh my God, that's that potter. Like this is the new techniques. This is the person invented that kiln. So like when you're outside and you're just chatting, you're speaking in your jargon where it's like, hey, you use that new ferro frit, and everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that before. So it's really exciting that working in clay has like brought me to communities with people from all over the world that like speak my language and like I can communicate with and be inspired from. Because recently, I'm really bad with names. So the potter that I met, she had this Airstream, and that's one of those campers, right?
Yeah.
And she retrofitted it into being a studio, so she could travel across the country and sell her wares at festivals and conventions and stuff like that. And it was friggin' amazing. So I'm like, that's my goal. That was like 10 years ago. And this summer I bought a camper.
Hey, nice.
So I got to gut it. And I have some people in mind that's going to help me completely renovate it. And hopefully next year I will have my con artists RV to travel around with my pottery and sell. Cool. So yeah, like those are the challenges because things take time. And when I graduated from university, I was like, I don't have millions of dollars worth of equipment. So how do I continue doing this? Yep. Which led me down the education route. So I did the fast track at Memorial for 16 months, and I got my teaching degree. So I've been teaching full time for years, and that kind of pulled me away from creating pottery because I'm only one person. Like teaching is a very demanding job. Mm-hmm. But then after doing that for a few years now, I think about 5 years, I've been able to like kind of get a grasp on that, where I'm able to work towards my pottery more. and slowly buy equipment. Like I have a kiln now, I have a studio space, I have a wheel, I have a ton of glazes of clay, and I've been incorporating it into my teaching in the school.
Very
So
nice.
I turn those challenges into like opportunities where, okay, it's like, I can't do this right now. So what can I do? Let's focus on this. And then I'll have an opportunity to have more control later down the road. So for anyone that's listening or whatever, like if you're struggling, just have some patience. Don't get off track because so many people want it right now. And I'm one of those people, but I got to check myself and like, okay, it's happening. It's just slower than I want.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of the entrepreneurs on the podcast actually talk about. I had another episode earlier the week, and it was a big med tech startup, and it's like all about software and stuff like that, and talking about the timeline, how you think you're going to be so far ahead on year one of launch, and in reality, year one is actually like year 5, right?
Right.
So everything just takes time.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like we live in a society now where like everything's at our fingertips. So patience is something that needs to be retrained.
That is so true.
Yeah. Just being discouraged from that is like, it's very important not to get discouraged from it because like I've had so many times where I'm just like, I haven't made pottery in like almost a year or something because I'm focused on, saving money and being a teacher and getting that down. I'm like, can I even call myself a potter? It's like having a crisis of my identity because it's just like, I haven't touched clay in so long, but it comes back to you and then you realize like, that's the goal, right? It's down there. I just got to keep persevering.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like a lot of people right now, a lot of people have side hustles and, managing a full-time job and a lot of other things in life, it's difficult. A lot of the time it can get watered down. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Everyone has a side hustle these days. So
I think I have 3 or 4. So
there you go. So that kind of leads into the next question about navigating the business side of your art. You could tell you're very passionate about it. It seems like it's been a passion for most of your life. So how do you kind of navigate the business side of it?
That's my biggest struggle. That's my biggest intimidation because, like even being on this podcast right now, it's like entrepreneurs. I don't even consider myself an entrepreneur because I don't have those things where it's like, I don't have a website. I don't have an inventory. I don't have a brick and mortar shop. Like those traditional things of a business that you think that you're supposed to have. I'm surprised when I get invited out to conventions or bring my work or like the things that I've done with my art, especially on the production side, that I fit into that category. And when I sit and think about it, it's like, yeah, I do make income and I do have business cards, but like promoting myself is a struggle. Like I'm not big on social media, so I feel like that's where I'm lacking. So I think instead of thinking if I can do it all myself, which is ridiculous, is outsource. Find people that are good in that area. That's their passion is doing social media and post and promotion and stuff like that. That's where my skills, my skills don't lie, that I can just lean into other people that have those skills. And then, it's creating a community where people, entrepreneurs can lean on each other because they have skill sets that kind of create a holistic image. Reach out to communities. If people like, say, for instance, like you reaching out for this podcast, it's like, take those opportunities because you don't know where they're going to lead, who you're going to meet, and where you can go from there.
There's so many things that, business owner actually has to do, and you can get bogged down with it very, very easily.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you say that, like, it's nice to be around people who are entrepreneurs in many different fields because they have the same kind of struggles, even though our businesses are very different.
100%. Yep. Yep. And that's something we tell our entrepreneurs a lot of the time is there's a lot of help out there. Sometimes it's free, sometimes you got to pay for it. But at the end of the day, there are professionals out there that can help in pretty much every aspect of the business.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Like one
Yep.
thing leads to the next. I went to one convention and then I met, people from NLEDA, the Newfoundland and Labrador Indigenous Tourism, and
Yep.
that led into ITAC, and that led into these group like meetups where people in tourism come together. And I'm like, oh, how am I in tourism? I didn't even think,
Yeah.
why would I, how do I even fit in tourism? And then you meet people that need artists for their business, or like who have, when tourists come in from the ships out in Corner Brook, they pick
Yep.
them up on their buses and they want extra things or extra opportunities or experiences for their guests. So it's like bringing entrepreneurs together to like help, give a better experience with their business. So that was cool. I didn't know what to expect with that one. So I was really grateful because I just kind of said yes, showed up, and it changed everything. So sometimes you just got to go for it.
Yeah, you never know what's going to be behind it. Going to be behind the next door, right? So last question here until we get into a little rapid fire round. So what are your hopes for the future of different arts and Indigenous arts and its recognition in Newfoundland, Labrador, and beyond?
I'd like to see a little bit more mainstream. I'd like to see those tourism ads that talk about Newfoundland. Oh, come to Newfoundland and all of our history, and have in those visuals on their mainstream tourism guides and ads, like Indigenous art and more Indigenous presence. Because this is like Newfoundland's like a melting pot. This is just another culture that's part of our very colorful history. So, and it's a beautiful one. So, like, I think it's a great thing to participate in, especially with the powwows. And people think that if you're not Indigenous, that you can't come to powwows. I've heard that so many places. That's not true. Powwows are for everybody. It's a great place to share your art, eat food, meet friends, play bingo, dance. It's a really good tourism opportunity for people coming from away to experience another asset or facet of Newfoundland culture and history. Yeah. And for me personally, I want to teach through art. I want to promote other artists, especially local Indigenous artists, because a lot of people who toil away at their work don't even recognize that they are artists, and they make amazing work. Like there's a lot of amazing beaters and carvers here. And I feel because I've been in that professional side and that also as a teacher, that I think I can be a liaison to bring people's art from their home, from their basements, from their, spare rooms out and share it to the larger community. So that's the goal there. That's why I said earlier, like the RV is not just to promote Red Fire Ceramics. I want to, people laugh at me and say, but I was like, I'm from Con River. I want to have con artists on my RV because,
it's catchy too.
Right. And so it kind of pops out, right? So I just want people to be able to share other artists and having different features of different types of artists and just sharing it with people so that people from rural communities might have access to something that they probably wouldn't have access to. All over Newfoundland, there's so many small communities and outports that if you don't go there, they don't have access to it.
Exactly.
And those kind of things can really impact youth and change their whole lives. So that's what I want to see more of here in Newfoundland. I think we're right with the opportunities. Just well, let's go.
Yep, 100%. Absolutely love it. On the same page there. Okay, so the last section here is a little rapid fire round. So it's just a couple quick questions. So we'll jump right in. So early morning creativity or late night inspiration?
Late night.
Nice. Clay or canvas?
Clay.
Clay for sure, yeah. I feel like I know a lot of these answers already. Favorite Mi'kmaq word or phrase that inspires you?
Hamasi means stand up.
Very nice. That's a good one. Okay, one thing you wish more people understand about Indigenous art?
Oh, more that it's pretty. And it's not all about historical, sad stories. It's about sharing bright, beautiful culture and the land. A lot of it's about the land.
Love it. Love it. And last one, what's one small joy that brightens your day?
Hugs from my kids, like my student. I don't have my own kids, but like when it's hard, I'll just go down to like kindergarten or pre-K and I'm like, can I have a hug? And they'll just warm me.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's all the questions. Really appreciate your insights and all the great conversation we had today. So just wanted to say thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's a wrap for today's episode, folks. If you like today's episode, please leave a like or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you'd like to know more about CNA entrepreneurship, visit www.cna.nl.ca/entrepreneurship. It's a mouthful, but you'll get there. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for listening. Use what's available to you. Build your business with the tools, techniques, and resources you have at hand, even if they don't fit traditional expectations. That includes outsourcing the parts of the business you are less skilled at, like marketing or administration, so you can focus on your strengths. Cultivate patience. Success doesn't happen overnight. Life and work will sometimes pull you away from your craft, but those pauses can create opportunities. Stay flexible, check your expectations, and retrain your patience as you grow. Find community. Connecting with people who share your passion and speak your language sparks creativity. But don't forget to look beyond your own field too. Different industries face similar struggles, and inspiration often comes from unexpected places.